Welcome to the Broski Diddles podcast, the best podcast in all the land. It's your boy Kiko Flow, Kiko Cervantes. And like every week, Chef Maurice directly from San Francisco. I'm coming from Madrid's Spanish province. And we're trying to connect, via the internet. Try to have a little fun time. You're riding with a Chicago White Sox cap, right? It's a cap. No cap.
Cap.
And this goes perfect with our episode today because we're going to talk about a TV show that was very emblematic and very big in the US that was filmed in Chicago. And we're talking about the Jerry Springer show. Wow, very different. The documentary is on Netflix. It's called Fights, Camera, Action. And it talks about, the sort of story of how the Jerry Springer show came about.
Came to be.
Yeah, the challenges they went through and also how it ended, I guess.
I have to start with, I'm surprised no drugs, no abuse, was part of any of this show, right?
What do you mean?
There wasn't any boss who was taking advantage in that sense of their employees.
I mean, there was a rumor that Jerry banged one of the guests.
The guests, right? And I feel that's okay. I mean, worst things we've seen.
Right.
He's just having some fun with some.
Yeah,
guests.
I mean, if it's consensual. I mean, I guess, there wasn't any the Nickelodeon documentary. There wasn't issues of sexual abuse. It was more like they were bringing people that were very vulnerable from low class communities, and they were putting them in situations to kind of fester hostility and have them fight each other, right? And one thing that the show, at least this is what I assume from the show, from the documentary. Because every time I used to watch these shows, which by the way, this show was right in our sort of childhood, growing up. If you ever got home from school early, or if you didn't go to school because you were sick, wink wink, this will be in the morning, which is weird because it started in the very late night, 2 a.m. And then I remember it being at 12 in the noon, which is weird because this wasn't very family friendly, although a lot of families liked it. But anyway, so the show, Jerry Springer, if you speak English, you know the show, but is this?
I don't think you need to. I mean, if you're in the culture, into the pop culture, you've heard about this guy.
You've heard about it
without having to see this show.
It's there's many talk shows, especially in the 90s, that came about. Same thing, a host that invites couples that have issues and they talk about it. But these guys took it to another level because they saw, almost like Jackass, right? They saw that they had no numbers in the rankings. And then so they decided to spice things up and make it more trashy. And that's what they did. They would bring ladies that would expose themselves. They would bring all sorts of weird stories, like a guy that married his donkey and all these things. But what I was going to say is that I always thought it was fake, they just made up these things. And on the documentary, it sort of made me feel, I mean, again, this is the way that they portrayed it. It made me feel like all these things were real. It is true. In the background with the producers, they would coach them into how to convey their emotions better because they weren't trained to speak on TV. So they were riling them up, oh, but you're mad at him, so of course you gotta scream at him. So I get that. I mean, that's TV stuff. But I gotta say, I didn't think it was as genuine as it was. There was real issues, people that had real, animosity against each other.
I was gonna say something. The fuck. I thought the same. I'm okay, this used to be fake. But then, as you said, the show kind of makes you seem that not the show, the documentary makes you seem like it was real. A lot of the people would call in and say I have this problem and I would like to, bring it up to the show. And I think that later on, as the show got more popular, maybe people were just making up stories just to get on the show.
Yeah, that is true.
They did
And I'm sure
mention
that
something.
the producer might have turned a blind eye to it.
Right. They did mention something about one of the stories being fake, uh, but they said I wasn't fake. It was just like the people didn't know how to convey those emotions correctly, or how they're used to in the show. But and apparently the episode still did well. You know, not the best ones, but it still did good ratings. And I remember that era of talk shows. Everybody had a fucking talk show. You know, in Spanish, Cristina, I don't know if you remember this Cuban lady with like
Yeah,
blonde
Christina was sort of like our Oprah.
Oprah, exactly. Exactly. And she was Cuban and kind of like a click with the Miami community.
Right.
And there was Oprah. In our home country of Venezuela, I don't know if you remember, Maite Delgado used to have this
True.
same show. The same
Yeah,
show
in
was
Venezuela, that's true.
the Maite show. I remember,
Yeah.
and most of them were like the name of the show was basically
Yeah,
this.
yeah. It was kind of like like podcast today. It's like the name of the person in the podcast. It's like, oh yeah, the Oprah show, the Maite show. Yeah, true. And then and also just like Jerry Springer in the Spanish community in the U.S., they started creating shows that, although weren't exactly like Jerry Springer, were inspired in Jerry Springer, like the Judge, like Judge Judy type shows. And in those, I did hear recently on a podcast where there was one famous one in Univision, which was called fuck, I don't know, Caso Cerrado.
Okay.
So it
I
was
love
like
that show.
case closed. You loved it. It was a
Yeah.
Cuban judge that would just tell people the things how it is. But yeah, it was acted. Like he was acted. Supposedly there were real stories, but they were acted by somebody. I mean, I think they just made it up. But it was trashy shit, and people love that. And what's funny about this documentary is that more than talk about the Jerry Springer saga, it tells more to the phenomenon that we are experiencing in the last 10 years or 15 years, 20 years, where people have started to love viralized content that's not good, but that's just good entertainment. And this is now evolved even to now where you look at memes and videos on TikToks that could be fucking stupid and just dumb, but they're good for filling. You know, they're empty calories. And I think that Jerry Springer was that, you know. Even him, I mean, he was like I think like a mayor. He was a news anchor. And then he came up with this opportunity, and to him, this was like beneath him, right? Like it was super trashy, but he played the part well and made his money.
He rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
Because his show was doing shit. Like his ratings were the lowest, and
And then they actually beat Oprah.
eventually, yeah. I mean,
And then Oprah started like getting pissed and like firing at them, like, oh, they got this trashy shit. But they did beat her.
sells.
It sells.
It's trashy sells.
And
Well,
of course,
one of the things about this era as well, when we were growing up, Laura in America was the same
Oh,
trashy
right.
concept. You know, it just in the
Actually,
Latin TV.
I just remember Laura in America was more like Jerry Springer.
Jerry,
actually.
yeah. And then I don't remember if they chanted for her, but at the end she would always give out like hot dog stands or sandwich
Yeah,
stands. Or something.
yeah. It was very telling of the social, economic, circles that they were operating with on the guests, because the big surprises at the end were like a sandwich cart for you to sell sandwich in the street.
Now,
But,
do
yeah.
you think that show, Laura in America, was more fake or more on the faker side rather than a show like Jerry Springer?
Yeah, I think Laura in America was very fake.
Very
I actually
fake,
think
yeah.
Jerry Springer, I mean, was pretty real.
Yeah. It
And you know,
it seemed that way.
and you know why I also think it's real, because you remember in the documentary they say that 75% of the guests came from an area that was like a triangle that they called, from like Georgia to Ohio to like Arkansas or some shit. and they were like, because like it's the middle of America where
I think it was like
people,
the Springer Triangle,
yeah,
like the Bermuda Triangle, the Springer Triangle.
yeah, the Springer Triangle, and
Oh, the fake story that they say about this. It was that the guests were from Boston, and then the person, one of the ladies talking, it's like guests from the Jerry Springer show are not from Boston. And then I think that's where they kind of explain the middle, the triangle in the middle of America.
yeah.
That's why it seemed fake, because the people didn't, connect with what the audience is used to.
Yeah, and also the fact that so what I'm saying is that there's dumb people that, believe it or not, want to go to these shows because they feel like they feel big, like they're being watched on TV, and they don't see the layer of you're being ridiculed on TV, like. And there's like, in the documentary, the case that was the craziest, I believe. I mean, there's two of them that were crazy, but to me, obviously, just because of the consequences, is the one where somebody ends up being killed. And it's like the classic Jerry Springer situation where there's two women and one guy, and the guy comes out and says, "Well, I'm not gonna be with you anymore. I'm with the other one," and sort of leaves the other lady to be ridiculed. And then I don't know if it happened that night or a few days later or somewhere, like that lady gets killed.
I think that's where it got lost a little
Right,
bit.
they didn't explain that part too well.
I also thought that it had happened, in the same day, because they keep saying, "Oh, this happened after
on that day." Yeah. So I'm not, but apparently it's not that. Apparently, after some time, weeks or months, they get back together. For some reason, because this woman is stupid, right? I mean, and then she ends up, being killed by the guy, and I think the mistress, or anyway. But I mean, this goes to show that the cases were real, because, I mean, this had real consequences in that sense.
I think that's how the second episode started, when there's like a young guy gonna be talking, and they're asking him, "Are you comfortable? Do you still want to do this?" And he said yes. And for a second, I thought it was Jerry Springer's son, until later on that they explained that he only had one daughter. But I thought it was his son, and I'm like, oh, here's the dark side of this story.
Right.
But no, I mean, yes, it was a dark side, but not in
at one
the Jerry
point,
Springer part.
Right. At one point, I actually started doubting, because I was like, wait, at one point, is Jerry Springer going to appear and speak?
Oh, no,
Right. But I mean, like, I wasn't, when I was watching the documentary, I wasn't too sure if he had died. And then I checked, and he died in 2023. But it could have been that this was filmed, around that time, and that he was still alive. So, but no, he's not. He didn't speak. You had the producer, Richard, and then one of the workers there, Toby, was the one who searched and called for the people to set up the scenarios. I mean, it's funny, man, how like an era just sort of marked by this show, and how so many things were inspired by that. Like reality TV, like Kardashians, like this was inspired by that so much. And this created the scandal industry, the riffraff, what's it called? Lowbrow, just low class entertainment. And by the way, this is not to say if you enjoy this type of shit that you're trashy. I enjoyed it. I've indulged myself in stupid content at times. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but you do have to be clear on what it is you're consuming, right? To be able to gauge the information that you receive from such channels.
Do you remember the Maury show, the Maury Popovich show?
Yeah, the Maury show was kind of like trying to be the competition.
But they did it well because they did it in another context. Like, they still brought their problems, but then a lot of them were, you're not the father, you are the father.
Okay.
And they did this like DNA test on the guests to see if they were. Sometimes I get the videos on Instagram of other cases or guests, and a lot of them are African-American guests.
I was just going to ask you, do you think, because now that I saw the documentary and now you're talking about Maury, and it is true, I remember Maury being more the one about who's not the father. Do you think Jerry Springer was more catered to white middle America, and then Maury came to sort of fill in the gap and cater more to the black community?
To the minorities, maybe that was the case.
Yeah.
But Maury is a white man, a tall,
Right. But it is
slim
true that
white dude.
Maury kind of played it cool.
He could be good in the hood.
Like, I almost feel that Maury probably had a mistress that was black. You know what I mean? Like, and he would listen to hip hop every once in a while. Because it is true.
Okay,
He embraced that community with that show.
It lasted longer than Jerry Springer.
The Maury
31
Show?
seasons. Yeah.
Jesus.
From 91 to 2002.
Fuck.
A lot of people needing DNA
No, but
tests.
that's not more years.
More seasons.
Right, but years.
No. Well, the Springer Show was until 2018.
Okay.
91 to 18.
I think it started in, okay, so that's a lot more years. That's almost 20 years or 30.
Well, the other one's from 91 to 2022.
Oh, I thought you said 2002.
Oh, maybe a
Oh,
20,
my bad.
2022.
Okay, so it was running up to recently.
Yeah.
Damn, is Maury alive? Find that out. Let's see. You know, because always why we can invite him. You know, he could tell us the secrets of that show, how it went.
He's 86.
And he's alive, kicking it.
Still alive.
Check if his wife is black. Quick check.
His wife is of
Indonesian.
Asian descent.
Oh, shit. I said Indonesian. Does she look Indonesian?
No, she's from China.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a different type of Asian. You can tell the difference.
You can?
Yeah, because the Indonesian is more tan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Indonesian,
this.
Thailand, you know, they have very nice features. As long as you don't get conned by a ladyboy, beautiful women.
Maybe
Thai?
beautiful men.
I mean, that too. And as we get further and further into the years, we're in 2025. Soon it will be 2030. Like, it's so like late in the game of human race that, yeah, I mean, if it's a cute boy of age, you know, then what's wrong, you know? Nothing wrong with that. Love is love. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Humidity is humidity. Moisture is moisture. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I
What
think.
was this guy that you love? He's bold. He used
What
to
is it
be
like?
Oprah's friend.
Oprah's friend. Oh, Dr.
Dr.
Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, you guys gotta read the book. We've Got Issues by Dr. Phil. You should read it so you can be ready for your son and like what's coming in the world.
Didn't that happen to have like the same bad vibe or trashy vibes, that show? I remember
Dr.
watching
Phil?
a couple of
I mean, I'll
episodes
be
from
honest
all-
with you. As much as I like Dr. Phil, it is true that he did dabbled in trashy techniques from once, you know, because like for example, the Bad Baby Catch Me Outside girl, that was like a trashy sort of, you know, thing. And he used to do those things too. He got cleaner now. He does a lot better shows now where like they're more serious. But I think at the time he needed to compete, and the thing that sold was trashy shit. But I will say, in defense of Dr. Filski, even in those times, he was able to do that trashy content with class, whatever that means.
A classy trashy.
Yeah, he did classic trashy. And he really tried to like help the person, right? Like even this is funny or whatever. Like I want to help
really
you.
a doctor?
I'm not sure.
Okay, he holds a doctorate in clinical physiology.
Okay, yeah, that's not a doctor. but he's smart.
And-
He's smart.
And he sees his license for psychology, so I guess he's a psychologist.
Yeah, he's some sort of doctor. But anyways, no, the book We've Got Issues by Dr. Phil. I don't get paid for the ad. I swear, it's really good.
It's the best.
It's the best.
But that all that came out at the same time, 2000s. Well, no, Jerry Springer was in the 90s, but we were too young and lived in a different country. But in 2000, when we moved to the States, that was what.
You know what I think happened too is that I think Jerry Springer would have just reruns of years back. Back in the day, there wasn't so much this thing where like you discarded content that was like a year old. You know what I mean? Like you would just have things running that you put out 5 years ago. I think
Maybe
so.
they had the live or the current stuff in the mornings, and then at night
Exactly.
they would do the older stuff.
Exactly, when they needed to fill in time. Yep. So that's what I think happened. Kind of like, at one point, Ridiculousness became that in Comedy Central, or the Tosh.0 show, which was really good. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it was just shows that, yeah, I mean, there were new ones, but there was always reruns of the old ones. So they could always have content.
Jerry Springer was very controversial in topics such as incest, adultery, profanity, chanting, heckling, physical fights involving slapping, boxing, wrestling, liquid spraying, and martial arts.
Yeah,
Nudity.
The incest one was sort of, one of the heaviest ones, which there was an example of that in the documentary, which was a father that would have a relationship with his daughter. And he wanted to go to the show to talk about it, which is crazy.
She was promoting herself, and the father would always call and to like ask for her services.
Yeah,
and
like
she would have to do the job.
Yeah, so his dad would call an escort service and ask for that girl who was his daughter, which I mean, on a technical level, I found it a bit weird because I'm like, why don't you just call her directly, and you can pay her a little less, and she gets to keep all of it.
Maybe he saw the loophole.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that look,
to save the money.
Yeah, because like after a few times, she gets the deal. Like, hey, look, I'm gonna keep calling the place. So instead, deal with me directly, because the place takes about 30-40%. So let me call you directly, and I just give you the money directly.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I'm just talking about on an economic side of things. Not that any of this is good, but I'm saying, I think he would be able to pay a little less, and she will be able to make a little more.
It's
horrible experience aside.
And the producer went into the hotel room, and when they opened the door, they were finishing up.
Which I don't understand, because apparently they called those two guests, like the father and the daughter, without letting them know that they were gonna be in the show, and so
they
then
were in separate hotels.
So then, how did they find each other? I don't know. It's weird. And then what happened? They never went to the show.
I don't think they did.
They never completed that part.
They left it open.
Yeah. But
Maybe
yeah, that's crazy.
A new episode.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, because that scenario right there is the title of a porn today. And that's how fucked up society is. I mean, one of the workers, I think at that point, when he opened the door and saw the girl and all that, he was like, yeah, I'm quitting this job. Like, I'm out.
He started doing drugs.
Yeah. Cocaine.
The Pecorino Romano.
The Cocorino Romano. Yeah, Toby was going wild, though, because he needed to sort of stay, active to get the stories. So he was doing the Cocorino Romano, which, can be harsh at times. Especially if you're mixing it in with the liquor. It's not a great mix. I mean, let me rephrase that. It's a great mix, but it's not a great mix for the heart. It's a great mix for the moment, because you're in a roller coaster of up and downs, I've heard. But it's not a good mix for the body, for the stroke. Okay, so Chef Maurice, you
Thank
gotta
you.
chill a
Thank
little
you for
bit with
letting me
it.
know.
Yeah, because I think you were going wild recently, and you just, with your new job, everybody knows in the kitchen you to stay ahead. You gotta,
Mm.
do a line ski. All right, so what do you think of the 2 episodes? I would hope that you have watched of Severance of the
I
new
haven't
season.
watched.
Oh, you haven't
I
watched
haven't
it.
watched.
So
No.
you're gonna wait till the end.
I'm gonna wait. I don't like the waiting
I
time.
don't wanna wait. All right, so you'll wait. We'll talk about that in another episode. Yeah, I fell into the loop of watching them week by week because I just couldn't wait. So I'm doing that. So
Do
yeah,
you think
Severance.
that the wait is too long? So would you rather wait 1 week to watch one episode or wait maybe 2 more months and then watch the whole thing all at once?
I mean, I think the latter is the smartest way. Just see it all at once because you're even more refreshed from the previous episode rather than waiting a whole week. But yeah, the thing is, I had watched the first season recently, so I was just so hooked that when I realized the new one was coming out, I was like, I'll just watch it one by one. And now that's what I'm doing, and I can't stop it. I gotta continue now.
All right, just tell me 2 episodes in, is it good?
Up to now is good. I'm still hopeful. The only thing is, again, it doesn't matter. It won't be a spoiler what I think because up to now everything's great, but it all depends on the ending. So like everything's still like hanging from that. Like the ending, if it's not a good ending and it's just some like open-ended bullshit, then that's where the whole thing falls apart. Because all the little things that are happening are interesting and are cool, but if it all ends up for nothing, then it kills whatever value that those things had.
Have they answered any questions?
They have.
Okay, don't tell me which. I just needed to know if 2 episodes in they start answering questions.
Yeah. They start answering questions. So that's why I feel a little bit like, okay.
Okay, that's good.
But
I'll
it's
take
still
that.
very what the fuck is happening? Yeah.
I'm just changing a little bit the subject. I need some advice from you today.
Okay.
I think we've talked about it before, but I want to bring it up to a new age. Today I have a company party, as a holiday party.
What up? Okay. What up? Give me 1 second.
Damn, you left me with the fucking questions now. What am I gonna do?
Okay, so this company party is this like from your job?
From my brand new spanking job.
Okay. So, okay, tell me the details, and then tell me what's the advice you need.
Well, okay, let's start with this. I'm brand new to this job. I've been in it 3 weeks. And I've already been invited to this company party, which at first I said I was not gonna go. But my boss said that she wanted to meet my son. So that makes it an obligation that now I have to go.
Oh shit. Okay.
So when she said, "Oh, I want to meet your son. Are you bringing him?" My answer was going to be like, "I don't think I'm going to make it." But she seems so excited to meet him that I had to say, "Sure, I'm going to bring him," because otherwise I have to stay home to taking care of him. So that's one thing. And I still debated a couple of days after, like maybe I don't want to go to this place. So I was talking to one of the people that work with me. I'm like, "Oh, how was the party last year? What did you guys do? Tell me more about it." And she was like, everybody had to go except one person that had one very good excuse of not going. But otherwise, everybody went. So that put even more pressure on me to go this time around. And then this past weekend, my boss said, "Oh, I really hope you bring your son, your wife. It's going to be very fun, very like family oriented. Everybody can bring their plus ones. It's in a bowling rink, so it's more catered to the family, so everybody can enjoy." which in that sense made me okay. I'm gonna bring my son, and we're gonna be bowling and stuff. But I don't know. To this the company parties today in about half an hour. I'm not gonna be there at right on time because I have to make an entrance, I guess.
Right.
But to this time, I'm still debating if I want to go or not.
I mean, I kind of feel like you have to go because you caved in. And this is something I give advice on. Whenever there's a thing that you don't want to go to, as soon as they ask you, right there,
You say
deny
no.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
because
fucked up.
then is I mean, don't worry. I mean, it happens to the best of us. But the best way to do it is if you deny right away, it's like in a video game. You got to parry. You got to parry it right away. Pa, pa, pa. And then that person cannot come back at you. But if you give them like, oh, I'll see, I'll think about it, bim, boom, bam, now you're being tied up to it even more. So yeah, you're kind of fucked. As in Severance, you know that the company parties, they're a little weird. There's gonna be weird conversations, and it's just odd. Now, quick little question here: is this an event that's paid by the company?
You mean like paying us for attending?
No. Like paying.
Oh, they're paying for the whole event?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, they have to, right?
Right. I mean, that's what I would assume, but I'm just asking. And they would have, I don't know what, refreshments, food.
I hope so.
Okay. Okay. Because like I think those things are a requirement if you're gonna make me use my free time to look at the fucking retards I work with.
I will. One thing I did say Friday and Saturday that I worked is I'm going, but the last thing I want to do is see you guys on my day off. And everybody laughed, but I was being very serious about it. The last thing I want to do is hang out with them on my day off.
Right. All right.
So-
Well, do you know if other people have children too?
I only know of one person who has an older daughter, like 5 years. So she's like, "Oh, I'm bringing my daughter." I'm like, "Great, she can play with my son." Other than that, I'll be having a great time.
All right. And are you going to make an effort to be sociable and interact?
I'll make a small effort. I'll hang out with the people I kind of know. Other than that, I'll be with the family, and I'll try to talk to people. I mean, it's not what I want to do.
Right, but you got to put an effort. I mean, how many people are we talking about here?
This is one of the biggest restaurants I've worked with, like in a sense of staff. There's a lot of people, a lot of fucking people.
So what are we talking about? Like this event is gonna be 50 people?
I would say so.
Oh,
Maybe 30 people, and then if they bring their plus ones and then husband, wives, whatever, it might be 50 people.
50, 60 people.
Yeah.
So
It's
you guys
gonna be a
are
big
like
one.
renting the whole bowling alley type shit.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's cheaper because the bowling alley is right across the street from the restaurant.
They probably have
So-
some sort of deal scheme.
Some sort of deal, right?
Okay. I mean, I will. It's funny because I've had when I was working at the corporate job, one of the things that we used to do, like as a company outie, would be to go to like bowling alley, and I personally like bowling, but it is true that whenever you're like in the outside world with the people you work with, it's always like this weird, awkward. Oh, so what do you do? What are your interests? And you're both looking at each other in the face. That the look, what it says is, yeah, I'm asking this, which I'm gonna forget in 3 seconds. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's weird. Yeah, I guess we kind of have to be here so that we can show we're committed to the company. It's weird.
Now, should I drink? If there's alcohol, should I, drink some?
I think that since you already have to go, make the best of it. So eat the food, drink the drinks. I mean, I don't think there's an issue with you like getting too drunk where you're gonna do some dumb shit. So that's not a problem to you. That could have been a problem for me some years ago. But other than that, I mean, I think you don't have that issue. So yeah, drink, have some fun. Like even make some like off-color remarks. Like maybe like a little racist joke, just to sort of break the ice. Is there a lot of diversity in the staff?
I mean, a lot of Latinos, a lot of
Okay.
not a lot of
Would you say
African Americans.
would you say if ICE deportation, service would go to this bowling alley that day, would they be having a good day in their terms? Would it be
They
a
would. They
good
could.
day out fishing for them?
It could be a good day.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be.
No, because what I'm saying is, if you do some jokes like that and people see that you lose, they might like you more. Like, oh, look, this because I know that there's Latinos there that look at you weird because you're Latino, but you're not Mexican, and you're sort of like Venezuelan, but you're also American and all the language. So it's like for them, you're kind of like an outsider to them, regardless. I mean, you're better to them than like a full blown American, but you're still sort of like an outsider to them. So maybe if you like come up with some jokes, they see that you lose, that you're really cooking out there, they might grow more fond of you.
What do you think about the whole taking the family situation? Not, maybe, in this case, it's a family oriented, party, but in general, like company parties, should you bring your plus one? Should you go by yourself?
I think with the plus one, it becomes even weirder because now we can't even speak about the only thing that we have in common, which is a shitty job. Because think about it, when you would go out drinking with buddies from work, what you would talk about work. I mean, it is true. There are a few cases where you become really close to somebody and then you end up just being friends and talking about other shit. But a lot of the time, whenever you have an Audi activity with people from work, you talk about work because you don't know anything else about this person. And you kind of don't want to know anything else. There's some people that I really prefer not to know anything about because they seem like they, hold some secrets that are dark, some shit that they've done in their basement. I don't know. Now, bring your family. It makes it more awkward. And also, why the fuck do you want to be my family? What is this about? So, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Unless you run some shit that's like super high value where you run a company and you're a CEO and like you're making millions of dollars, and now you and the CFO and the other executive, you're all going to dinner and you're going with the family so everybody can meet each other because now we're fucking, big business executives. Okay, that's different. We should meet each other's family because that's cool. Like come to my villa in fucking France. Come with your family. Stay over. But if it's like your kitchen job and they're like, oh, let me meet your son. Like, who the fuck are you? Are you a PDF file?
You think I fucked up
No, I
by
don't
telling
think
them I would bring him?
you've exposed him. No, no. I think that you fucked up is dependent on what it is that you would have wanted, right? So if the result of your answer is getting you something that you didn't want, then you did fuck up. So is that the case? You said yes, but in reality you didn't want to go, right? So you fucked up.
Yeah.
Now, is that something to hit yourself over too long? No, you gotta accept it, understand that you fucked up, and then now for the next time, your mind is ready. That whenever you get an invite, that's something that you don't like. I'm sorry, no, I won't be able to go.
I gotta check my calendar.
I remember there was this dude from work that was marrying another dude because in Spain they do that, and like I started working in the department, and I'm cool with everybody, but like we're not life friends or whatever. And he's like, oh look, I'm getting married. You want to come? And I'm like, right away I just said, oh no, sorry, I can't come. He didn't even say when, where. I just couldn't, right? And he sort of felt like, oh, okay, shit. But to me, it's also like, why the fuck would I go to your marriage? You probably need that space for someone else that's actually, I don't know, your cousin or some
Related.
shit, Yeah, so, and I learned like little by little to like, as soon as I hear something I don't want to do, sorry, no. Why? I don't know. Like I'm almost to the point, almost, not yet there, but I'm almost to the point where like I can even reply, no, I'm sorry, I don't feel like going.
That's the next step.
That's the next step. The next step. Oh no, sorry, that doesn't sound like an interesting thing for me to do.
I can say that you're a couple steps in front of me. In the sense of you already say no. right now I'm in the part of like, but other jobs when they did this party, I would go. Like I would be happy to go. But this time around, it feels weird just because I'm new to the whole
Yeah. The
situation.
thing is, when
And
you're, mhm.
no, I was gonna say, and at some point last week, somebody came up to me and and asked me if I wanted to play Secret Santa. And then right there and then I said no. Like, no, I
Good.
can't. I
Papa.
can't play. Say, I can't. I'm new, and I'm gonna have somebody who, I'm gonna see a paper, and it's gonna be a weird name to me, and I don't know them enough to buy something for them.
Yeah. To buy the thing they're putting in the group that they want.
So it's probably gonna be like a $20 gift max, probably. I would think, but it's still weird. I don't know who you are. You don't even know who I am. So
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I hate it when in work or in situations they try to get too comfy, too fun. Like, I mean, and it's not to be an asshole. It's just that we're not there yet.
right. It doesn't mean that next year I can't become part of that.
Right. Like maybe next year, me and Roberto, we're fucking buddies.
Right.
And we share, baking soda with each other in the bathroom. And then when the Secret Santa idea comes along, I'm like, for sure, because if I get Roberto, I know what to give him. I know what that motherfucker likes. But now I'm new. You want me to go to the company party, and you also want me to fucking do some Secret Santa with a bunch of people I don't know? No, I think that's a little pressured. And I think we need to start learning to say no, because you know what? Companies sometimes, not, I mean, personal life, but also companies where you work, they try to get a little grabby. They try to get your available time and make it theirs. And put pressure and like, oh, you should do this because it's part of so you can meet it. No.
I talked about this with one of my managers at work. I'm like, on my days off, don't text me. Don't text me unless it's a fucking emergency.
You told them.
Yeah. Because we were talking about the company party. And again, the comment I kept saying was, I don't want to see you guys on my day off. And then we kept talking about other stuff, and we landed on my day off. Don't call me unless it's an emergency. If you need something that you don't know.
Well, but this is something that you just let it be known, or they texted you one day on your off day.
No, we were talking the other day
At work.
At work, and I just let them know how shit was gonna be.
Okay. So you see.
So I fucked up, but not entirely.
No, you fucked up on one side, but you're putting in the work on the other side.
Let's go.
So this is what I say to to the youngins, the ones that are still waking up every morning with dick rock hard. By the way, that's a signal that your heart is working
Your
fine.
heart is good. Yeah, I saw
If
that.
every morning you wake up with that dick is just perforating your bed, don't push on it. That's how you get those bent dicks. You don't want those dicks that have to fuck from the side.
Even if it feels good.
Yeah,
Pushing on it?
Yeah. Don't push on it. You're gonna bend it, or push equally on both directions, so that you bend it one side to the other. No, but yeah, like for the youngins, start saying no. Sorry, no, can't do that. No.
If you truly don't want to do it, you have to start saying no.
Even if it's a close person, it's like, hey, I'm gonna be getting married in Santorini. You wanna come? Hey, bro, sorry. Great choice, by the way. Great place, very accessible to everybody. Hope you fucking get divorced in 2 years, you piece of shit. Santorini? Hey, we're gonna get married in fucking San Martin Island in South Africa, where the penguins, mate. Oh, okay, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I won't be going. I almost like it when the invitation for the wedding is super extravagant, because then it's like a quicker no. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I mean, maybe this is broke talk. I hope I get to a point where I got money where I actually have to make an excuse because money wouldn't be an excuse for me. But like if I get an invite for a wedding and the shit is like in Hawaii, I'm like, bro, no, and you already know I can't be doing this. Have fun, Walulu, whatever it is, Hanunu. Come on.
Maybe
Ohana.
if you did go, they would receive you with a haka in the airport.
I don't think they do hakas in Hawaii.
No, I don't.
I don't.
Maybe.
I don't. The haka, bro.
Anyways, this party, I'm not looking forward to.
It's annoying, man. And you know what's also like one thing that I recommend to the youngins? When you're a little younger, the company party is not as bad because it's free booze and food. And when you're on the broker side, younger, that's a nice little head start before the night really begins, You can get out of that company party with a, tipsy. And it used to be what happened at my company. People would go to the company party. That would end like at 10, 11, and then they would go to another bar and continue. And then after that bar, if people continue, they went to a disco at 5 in the morning, and then the ones that are there are the ones that are going to end up.
Are you a firm believer?
Wedding the Panini. What?
Are you a firm believer that nothing good happens after 2 a.m.?
Nowadays, I am a believer of that, which is sad because it speaks to how much of a uncle I have become. So yeah, I don't do the night. Now, this doesn't mean I don't stay up late in the comfort of my house, in the protection of my cave. But I'm not outside. Am I happy that I went through all those crazy adventures? Yes. Will there be more adventures like that in the future? I mean, I'm not above
against
that.
It.
Yeah, I'm not against it. But it isn't every weekend thing.
Or everyday thing like it used to be.
Yeah, like it used to be.
If I was in my younger culinary years and I was by myself with no family, the night would not end when the party ended, There would be more to it.
Oh, okay, so you also remember that.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes think about your family and you're like, man, I wish I could just disappear it all and start over? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but really, like, do you feel like you've fallen into the part of your life you're in comfortably, or are you? And I know it's hard to be real about this, right, in public, but or do you feel sometimes like, damn, I still miss that, that party life, but I can't have it anymore? Or are you more like, oh, that's great, I loved it, but now I enjoy the things that I'm doing now in this stage of my life?
I think I'm more, I don't know. I enjoy what I'm doing now. I'm in that stage where I enjoy what I'm doing now and how I'm living it. I don't often find myself thinking about, oh shit, I want to keep doing the party, the going out.
So you enjoy the family life?
I enjoy the family life.
You don't find your... Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say, I don't know if it's the family life, which I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think it is.
It definitely
but
is.
Like the most like calm down. I would rather go to like, the bar across the street from where I live now, rather than going to a big bar in the city or drinking wine with the friends. Like I would rather do that and find myself doing that more often than
like you don't find yourself just reminiscing, a part of the day, like hoping you were like, at 3 a.m. in the restroom of a bar, railing a line of ketamine.
No, definitely not. No, I sometimes I like I said, I find myself thinking about those times. I'm like, damn, those were fun. You know,
Okay.
let's do the all nighters in the beach or the all nighters at Kiko's house. You know, or the all nighters with the friends, the girlfriends.
The girlfriends.
Those were fun
Because
times.
there were many, okay? We cleaned up. No, what I was gonna say is that it's curious because maybe some of the younger folk that listen to us have a fear that maybe when 10 years later they gotta start doing more adult shit and they're like, fuck, but I kind of want to just keep partying. And I mean, there's outliers. There's people that are older and we still want to party. But what I gotta say is that me that I enjoy more calm activities, even though I don't have a kid, I would say I live more of a family life. You surprisingly end up feeling right where you are rather than fuck, I'm stuck in adult life when I'm really wanting to do more partying. So don't worry, I guess your age will fall equal to the energy you got to do wild shit.
But there's people who are our age and they're still on that note, like on the going out, getting blasted every fucking night.
I sometimes do have an alter ego where I envy them.
Ooh, okay.
Also because
You miss those times.
yeah, I miss it, and I see the joy in their eyes. The thing is, I couldn't do what they do, just because I'm just not there anymore. But I see like yeah, older folk. I mean, I see older friends, you know, my age and older, where like I'm like damn, yeah, you shouldn't, you might not be doing, you know, you shouldn't be doing ecstasy every weekend.
I don't know
You're
if I should
42.
be saying. I don't know if I should be saying this, but
Say it. No, you say it.
I have an ex coworker who I would say it's around our age, maybe a year or two younger, who went to Hawaii for something. I don't remember what it was.
A wedding.
I want to say a wedding, but I'm not sure. And he delivered through the post mail a baggie of Cocorino Romano.
Mm.
And I found that very interesting.
Wait, what do you mean he
Very
delivered?
like he went to the post office, he put his baggie of Cocorino Romano into an envelope,
And he sent it to Hawaii.
and he sent it to the address he was going to stay at in Hawaii.
And when he got there, the thing was there.
The thing was there,
That's
and
fucking.
he
That's
and
crazy.
apparently he had leftovers, and he sent it back home.
What?
So
Damn, this guy, low key. This guy's a G.
it's a G
You
indeed.
know what happened to me once? I went to an island and in Spain, and you know I don't like flying with any stuff, you know. So we got somebody in the island to get us some oregano because we're gonna do pizzas the whole weekend. So we got a bunch of oregano, and it was good oregano, but it was a lot of oregano. Like, we got a really good deal. And at the end of the trip, I mean, it got to a point where I quickly realized how much we had. So I was telling the people in our group, like every day, like we gotta go through it, like you know,
Let's
like
go.
it was almost hard to do it. Like you had to be committed, you know, like. And even then, at the end of the day, when we need to fly back, we still had some left. And I had made friends with a worker in the hotel that was Dominican. And this has nothing to do with ethnicities. But I had made good friends with him. I think he had seen me indulge in some of the,
Pizza that you made.
yeah, with the oregano. And I was like, hey, bro, I need to tell you something. I'm leaving, and I got some oregano left. And he was kind of like, I didn't know how I was going to react. And I was like, I would feel so bad if I just throw it away. So he's like, oh, okay, I got you. And he took it. So I felt like we weren't throwing it away. There were other things because this was like in a hotel, but not a hotel, more like an apartment type thing. So we had bought things for food like oil, dough, this, that, waters, things. So we left it there for the cleaning lady. The people staying next door, we gave them the beers. So we kind of made sure that everything was back to the
Well
land, you
given.
know? Yeah, well
Yeah.
given. So,
You did
anyways,
a Robin Hood.
I didn't mail it back to me, but I found it at home.
Yeah, he this guy told me the story, and I was like, I was very impressed. I was very impressed.
I have also had another story in another island in Spain where I also had too much. I needed to fly back, but I didn't know anybody I could leave it with. and I just didn't want to just go to a random person and just look like a crazy person, you know? Like, hey, you want to keep my drugs? So I just left it in like a rock where people would sit, and I was like, hopefully the right person finds it. Because like for the right person, you pass by and you find a little baggie, and this is an island where like maybe you flew from another country, you got no connections, and then you want to smoke, and then you see a little baggie with the whole thing there, and you're like, and the good thing about the oregano is that even if it's some random bag there, I mean, I know it's a little risky, but you see it, you look at it, you know what it is. If it's a white powder, you have no idea what it is.
You know that where I used to live before this house, my lady, she made friends with one of the neighbors there, and the neighbor was known to be an influencer for a oregano company.
Okay.
And one day we were doing laundry because at that time we didn't have a washer and dryer in the unit, so we had to go somewhere else to do it. One day we passed by the neighbor's house, and there was a baggie on the floor of oregano, and it was a good amount. It was good for like 5 or 6 pizzas and maybe some pasta.
Oh shit!
It was a good amount.
It's a party bag.
A party.
It was a family portion.
Yes.
And you got it?
And we got it. We got it. And I don't know if she was looking for it afterwards, which maybe she would have.
But it was gone.
But it was gone in seconds. Great pizza.
That's an amazing feeling. One time I went to a festival, like an EDM techno festival that was like underground in Fort Lauderdale. It was called Autumn Fest. I don't think they do this anymore, but it was free. And there was like a little gate where some security guards would be there just so that they could see that you're not coming in with weapons or anything. And right when I'm coming in, I look at the ground and I see a big ass blunt. And then I just sort of go to like, I was very quick with my mind whenever I saw things like money or anything. Back in the day, you used to find money. So I just went right there, tied my shoe, I got it. And then I told my friends, hey, let's not go in just yet. Let's go back to my car. And I told them, look what I found. I also had some oregano myself. But, at that time when you're young, you don't really have unlimited amounts of things or money. So anything extra, it helps. And also, you got to think, okay, this is a blunt that has been rolled up. For people that don't know, a blunt is, it's like a Dutch that has tobacco inside. You take off the tobacco, and then you use the tobacco leaf to fill it up with oregano and then seal it up. And to seal it up, you use saliva. And also, you don't know what's inside. So we're taking a risk, right? Like, hey, this blunt, when you look in the tips, it looks like it's green. So this is, oregano. So it's all good. Most likely there's no issue with it. But you could see how somebody might be like, hey, I'm not touching some random stuff that you found. But at the time, we were like, hey, let's do it. And it ended up just being some fire shit. And it was such a great vibe to start off the festival, finding substances for the festival. There's nothing better than that. Have you ever had any other find like that? I can't hear you right now.
I have money finds.
You have many finds.
Okay. Money finds.
I
found money. I found
what was
like hundreds, 50. I found money a couple of times.
Damn, that one is gangster.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
I think with inflation and crisis in the world, I don't think there's been a long time that you don't find. The last time I found money was like 10 years ago here in Spain. It was 50 euros. It saved my fucking life. I was broke at the time, and it just came in so well. Like I literally felt like God was talking to me.
You're gonna make money, so here's 50.
No, more like I know you're in a bad place right now, so here. But I almost feel like now everyone's so broke that you never find shit anymore. At least here, no coins, no nothing, bro.
How do you feel about taking the coins from the fountain?
I don't do that. That's weird.
Oh, me neither. I'm just
that's some homeless shit. But also, fuck the fountain. Like, people that throw money in a fountain, what do you think is going to happen? You know the fountain, I think it's called the Fountain de Trevi. The Italian one, I think it's in Rome.
Yeah.
Like that thing, they collect about 2 million plus every year in coins. Isn't that
Yeah.
insane? And what do people think they're doing when they throw it? Like you wishing a wish on what? On fucking dead Romans? Maximus? The fuck, bro? It's weird. Like the things we do.
The things that humans do.
You know, there's this YouTube show or like channel. I haven't watched the channel, but I watched the guy that does the show in different podcasts talking about the show he does. It's called like Money Audit or something like that, where he brings in people that have like issues with money and he like helps them. But I'm not talking about like, it's mostly like young people that are very entitled and don't know how to administer money. So like there was this couple, was two girls, right? And together they made like 8,000 a month, which is not bad, right? But like they would go twice a month to Disney and spend so much money on retarded shit. And it was just like such a wonderful view into the world of many people that almost have like no sense of reality. Even landing good jobs that pay you 4 or 5K a month, depending on where you're living. In this case, it was Arizona, so I think it was pretty good. There's some people that still have a sickness that need to spend and like spend it on shit. Cause like, and let's be honest, consumer, what would you call it? Like consumer culture. We all suffer from that, right? Like every time you buy something from Amazon or here or that, it gives you a little hit. And I get that, right? Like I have things with like little Casio watches that I like, but like my addiction on little things like that is like $20 here or whatever. But there's people that literally need to spend all their money and put themselves into debt. And in this case, this show specifically, they have different guests every time. He was talking to these two ladies, bro, that were just so stupid. And you could see, like, they felt that they always needed to do things. Like, no, but it was my birthday month. So we needed to go. And, like, what do you think about this culture of people? I mean, it's not just young kids. This happens to everybody. But, like, people that just spend stupidly, get into debt, especially in the U.S., where they enable you to do so, right? They make it easy for you to get into debt. Yeah, do you see that as a problem? And you have problems with that yourself?
We all have problems with that. That's one of the downsides of not having a job. You get into that. So get a job. Yeah, I mean, what more can I say that you didn't say? We need some sort of help. I don't know how or from where or how it's gonna come, but there needs some sort of like education perhaps on the younger people on how to manage money. I remember we were in school and that was never part of the talk. Economics, family economics. I think those are important bases to start with for the young people. Maybe implement that in school. And
like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You just touched on a very important note, which like we never were taught basic economics of like your own money management at school, and it's so important. Like for example, many people don't even do this, but like I keep a little ledger of how much is my budget monthly, how much I need to spend on what, and then I go little by little checking off what I have paid, what I haven't, what I'm spending extra on. And this helps you because you realize how much extra you spend a month on shit that isn't part of your monthly expenses. Like, oh, today we went out and we went to the park and we had to, get a little shake and a little tea and a little what. And this makes you just manage your money better. And it's crazy how so many people don't have this. And so many people get into debt unnecessarily. So anyways, if you have tips on how to manage money, or maybe you're an expert and you want to come in the podcast and talk to us, well, let us know. If you find that the podcast is utterly useless and brings no value, leave it on the comments. We want to, know the real critics about what we provide. And if you love it, well, subscribe. Rate us on Spotify, on iTunes. It really helps us grow. I'm starting to talk like a YouTuber. It really helps us grow and helps our analytics. No, but really, we want to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. Help us out with that. Share with your friends. If you have a sick friend that you chill with, you think he might like this, send it to him. And yeah, we're available on all platforms again, not just video on YouTube, but audio on every platform that you can think of, legal and illegal. Chef Maurice. Thank you for joining us like every week. Keep it cute, keep it gangster, and keep it fancy. Love you guys.